guys, I'm Layla. Welcome to Raidlore Stories. Today's lore story is going to be Khafru the Deathkeeper. He happens to be the epic champ that's part of the new a man's, Johnny Depp fusion that's going on, right? So he does look some kind of like Egyptian pharaoh mummy kind of champ. So let's check out his story. Only the strongest undead warriors may serve a lord as mighty as Nekrit the Great, or so the Deathless Eagle had proclaimed. In his desert fastness, Nekrit builds an army of conquest. It is a slow process, for he deems few worthy enough to fight in his shadow. Foremost among his chosen warriors is the mummified brute known as Khafru the Deathkeeper. Khafru has served Nekrit longer than any other being, a dubious honor, but one which Khafru claims for his own life. In life, he was Nekrit's chief bodyguard. The scion of a Deadlander tribe of the Akar peoples, Khafru was chosen in boyhood to be his master's companion, like all of Nekrit's protectors. Selected for his size and strength, impressive even then, Khafru was then trained by the greatest warriors of the kingdom so he might serve Nekrit well and protect him from any danger. More, he was taught the values of prudence and patience, the better to advise his strong-head charge. Khafru served Nekrit well for many years, believing his master to be the greatest king to ever tread the jeweled sands. He fought alongside Nekrit in many wars of domination and defended him against several assassination attempts. He counseled him in times of peace and did his best to curb Nekrit's hunger for glory. This was no easy thing. More than once, Khafru found himself out of favor with his master. On occasion, he was even exiled from the kingdom. But eventually, thanks to his skill and abilities, he'd be forgiven and would return to his master's side. Khafru failed in his duty only once, during Nekrit's final battle against a great sandworm. Unable to convince his lord of the foolishness of confronting the beast alone, he dutifully accompanied Nekrit in pursuit of the monster. But when they found the creature, Khafru was so terrified by the sight of it that his courage failed him for the first and last time. Sword and shield hanging forgotten in his hands, he could only watch in frozen disbelief as his master slew the terrible creature alone, albeit at the cost of his own life. Ashamed and dishonored, Khafru carried the broken body of Nekrit back to his people. Then, before Nekrit's funeral, he volunteered to be mummified and entombed with his lord as recompense for his failure. Khafru swore that if he could not protect Nekrit in life, he would keep him in death. And so he did, for a year to the day of Nekrit's passing, when the Deathless Eagle rose from his tomb as an undead horror. Whatever fell magics had resurrected the dead king afflicted Khafru as well, drawing him reluctantly from the sleep of oblivion. Nekrit had Khafru entombed once more, conscious and aware, for the failure the king had not lived to punish himself, but only for a short time. As in life, Nekrit was forgiving of his most loyal servant, and Khafru now fights alongside his master once more as one of the undead. But his old shame haunts him, even now, and he fights all the more fiercely for it. Death seems to have not remotely weakened Khafru's formidable strength. In battle, he acts as Nekrit's immovable shield, protecting his boastful liege against any foe who dares come within reach. With his great shield and keen blade, he makes for a terrifying opponent. He is determined to protect Nekrit from whatever might harm him. For a while, he might have failed as king in life. In death, he will keep him safe at any cost. What a good story, guys. I really like this one. I like how they bring it back and they tie it with Nekrit the Great. Because like I said, he looks like he would kind of serve like a pharaoh or a king, right? So I really like that they do that. And I know I had shared the story for Nekrit the Great as well, so feel free to check it out on this channel too. But guys, I'd love to know what you think for the lore story for Khafru. I like that they actually gave him a full fleshed out story, because a lot of times what I've been noticing when reading the lore stories for the epics is sometimes they tend to be more of a generality or a title and not necessarily a specific champ. But this one was very specific. I'd love to know what you guys think. Thanks for watching.